Hello, hello, hello. Shirley Ross, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And it is time for another January card tutorial. And this is one of the versions of the card. And it is a fun fold, gatefold with a slide. These are the pieces that we are going to use in this class's card. So I'm going to leave that for just a second for you to see it. I am going to add a few bits and pieces, and I'll explain that in the class so that if you want to add some more matting, you can. I'm trying to clean my space up a little bit. All right, so you're going to need a stamp set, and I am actually going to use the sentiments from this one, and then some of the other parts from the Jolly Delivery and Friendly Foliage. Love, love, love. And you might need your bone folder, your trimmer, your adhesive, and I am using a liquid adhesive. Right now I'm using art glitter glue until I use all that up, and then I'm going to try the Tombow Multi that you can get from Stampin' Up! You'll need scissors and foam. I'm using foam tape because I'm using my stash. You could use Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. And then I'm going to have my silicone mat for stamping. I think that's everything. So let's get started. All right, I'm going to move all these pieces off. And we'll start with the card base. And it is a 5.5 by 8.5. You're going to score it at 1 3/4 and then 6. And then it'll be turned this way so that it will gatefold in. I am using Petal Pink, which was my color of the month last month. And I'm finishing up the paper collection. That was my featured paper collection from last month. So once you've got that scored, then you might want to come in and do some creasing, so that's ready to go. The next piece that you're going to need is going to be B, and it is going to be 3.5 by 3 1/4, and you're going to score it at 1/2 inch on the 3.5 inch side. All right, and then we're going to fold that over. And again, let's use our bone folder. All right, so the first thing we're going to work on is the inside. So I am using pattern on the inside. I don't usually do that. This is kind of a busy pattern, but I thought this would be really cool. Let's just do it all in mailboxes. And while this is a Christmas-inspired paper, I am using it for an all occasion because I think mailboxes and the letters will go for any occasion. All right, and this is a 4 by 5 1/4, and it should fit in there perfectly. So you want to put that piece in first. Let's take our C off in there. Sorry about that. All right. And then we are going to use the mechanism piece. Before we do that, let's go ahead and do some stamping. I like to get the stamping out of the way. So these are the two pieces. One is going to go on the inside. One is going to go on the outside. So let me take this is going to outside card front sentiment and card inside sentiment. So I am going to be using the Mementos black, and on the inside I want to do a little something with these packages. Sorry, these envelopes. Whoops. So I am going to do like a little border. See if I can get that a little straighter. There we go. Now, if you wanted to do these separate, there's no reason why you can't do a little, what I call stamp surgery, and that means just to cut the stamps apart because they're easy to put them back together when you want to use them as a whole. So keep that in mind. All right, so we've done that. The next thing I want to do is to add the sentiment, and I think I want to use wishing you the best. On the Jolly Delivery, most of those are going to be Christmas sentiments because it is a Christmas stamp. There we are. I've used Special Delivery a lot, so I wanted to do something different. I'm not going to need that stamp, so that was for my last video. I hadn't put everything away yet. All right, and that will be on the inside. I like to use the scrubber. I know some people use the stamp chamois, but I still use the scrubber, keep it open on my desk for cleaning my stamps, and I try to clean my stamps as I go along. It doesn't always happen, so sometimes it's that old adage, do as I say, not as I do, but this time I'm glad I can see it, so you can keep seeing me put stamps away. Put that one away. I want to put it away where it goes. As you can see, I have them stamped here. That way I know I have all my stamps put back. All right, so that is the outside. I'm sorry, the inside. Now the outside, I'm going to be using some mailboxes. These are from the paper collection, had some die cuts. I may use my little, so I think I'm going to use these, and I can pop them up. Maybe put that one in, sort of in the middle, one there, one next to it, a little bit higher maybe. And I want to make sure my Special Delivery is going to fit right across the top. Perfect. Awesome. Okay, so we'll take those off. I'll put those on at the end because I'm going to pop some of them up, and I don't want them to get squished. So let me put that one away. Now this is the older cassette. I just folded it so that it would fit in one of these folders because I'm trying to switch all the stamps I'm going to keep in my stash into the folder, the new envelopes. So I'm going to close that so nothing happens to it. Okay, so that's done. So let's go ahead, and the one thing that I'm doing different that I didn't share the cuts with is that I'm going to triple mat. Sometimes I just like to have more mats. And so this is just 1/8 of an inch on both sides, larger than that sentiment piece. Put that to the side, that's going to go on the front at the end. All right, so we'll go ahead and get this piece ready. It's going to be a small border, right? And then we're going to put this one on next. And I'm using Early Espresso. Sorry, I'm using black. Sorry. I had Early Espresso out earlier for something else that's on the brain. This is the two-tone black, so it's a little bit lighter than the basic black. It is basic black, but it's a little bit lighter than the 8.5 by 11. Now we're going to put some adhesive on this little 1/2 inch piece. I'm going to take the card. We're going to line up that little 1/2 inch piece just a little bit off the score line to the right. Then we're going to close the card. That's going to take a few minutes because I used the liquid glue. I want it to make sure it's adhered well before we pick it up. And there we go. It's going to need to dry just a little bit longer. So we'll leave that. While that's drying, we're going to take and put a little adhesive at the bottom and the top of the small section of the card, and we're going to fold it over. And that's going to cover that little slide mechanism. All right, so we're going to let that dry, and while that's drying, we'll go ahead and get our piece. Again, this is the extra. So this is here, and this piece here are going to be put on top of each other. There we go. And then this is going to go on the black piece. And it will just have a small 1/8 of an inch. Now, in the directions, this piece here would have been this color. And then that would have been the smaller piece. Okay, so now we're going to put our mailboxes on. So the black piece would have been the G. Which I think was the 2.5. Yeah, 2.5 by 3.5. All right. And then this one is the one I made an 1/8 of an inch smaller. Now we're going to get some foam tape because we're going to pop this one up. I think my mailbox is just a little crooked. There we go. That's what I like about the liquid glue. You have a few minutes to play with it. There we go. We're going to put that here. And again, it's got some real red, some petal, pink. Yep, I did drop it. Let's see if I can see it. And I don't. Let me grab one off of the sticker sheet. Let me pull the sticker sheet over so you can see what I'm talking about. Let's see if I have another mailbox. And I do have several. I want this one. I want the green one. All right, so this is the sticker sheet that came with this paper collection. I loved that it had that. I think what we'll do is put it right there. I love that. Okay. I like things to be kind of simple and plain. There we are. And now we are going to put on our outside pieces. So we're going to start with, this is E, and it is going to be 1 5/8 by 5 3/8. Now, you could have, if you wanted to, you could have made mats for these as well. And I really do. I think sometimes the more mats you have on a card, the prettier it is. It can sometimes make your card pretty heavy, but I really think it adds a lot of dimension to your card. And then this is C, and C is going to be D. It's 2 3/8 by 5 3/8. So it just leaves a little border of that petal pink. And let me get the D off of there. All right. And then we'll take this piece and we'll carefully add some more adhesive, but just to the one side, so the card will open. We'll put it right here. You could center it. I kind of put it a little bit to the right. I think on the inside, I'm going to add the little hedgehog with the letter on his head. I think I'm going to put it maybe right there. I'm going to make sure he's low enough. I don't want his nose to catch when on the slider part. So there we go. And now I'm going to pull in. Now these are some from my stash. Some, I think that's a little crooked, but that's okay. That's what makes it homemade. So these are from my stash. They're just some dots. They're in black. I'm going to put one up here. I'm just sliding them off. I think another one over here. There we go. I like that. So there we are. The card is complete. It is a fun fold, kind of a gatefold with a slide. And I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you again soon. This is Shirley Ross, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator.